It's time for another episode of The Oil Stream with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola, presented by Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen.
Hey, hello, everyone, and welcome to a Friday episode of The Oil Stream. Nielsen and Gazzola. Tommy, are you banging along to our music there? I've really learned to like that intro song there. I like it.
It's a good jam, and it's Friday.
Yes. Oh, that's what they say. Hey, Friday. I like that.
So mix that all together. We're on the show together. It's good vibes. Good vibes.
It's a good vibe as well. I mean, our presenting sponsor, Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen. How about this? What are the odds? We're doing an oil stream today, and they are opening a new location today. Aaron Ridge in St. Albert opens up today. It's just another location as Popeyes continues to take over the chicken world in central and northern Alberta. And that's with our crew, Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen. So now out in St. Albert, you can go get that delicious Popeyes chicken sandwich and some of those nugs that are crunchy, yet at the same time super soft on the inside, and all of their delicious sauces now open in St. Albert, Aaron Ridge in St. Albert. You can go, man, I love it. Another new store, but I feel like every 2 months we're like, and another new location's opening.
Yeah. Blackened Ranch. If you're going to go for a dipping sauce, you're the one who put me on to Blackened Ranch.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. And then it just the classic barbecue. I think it's a little bit smoky, but it's good. And anything with a Chipotle, I'm all about.
That's a good idea, too. All right, so we'll get to a little bit of a practice report. Looks like they're getting a little bit healthier here as they work their way towards Tampa. We'll talk a little bit about the starting goaltender. Contract announced for Niemelainen, so we'll get into, or Niemelainen, sorry. We'll get into that a little bit. But more Jersey news, Tommy. I mean, you're dropping Jersey news all over the place. Wednesday's Oil Stream, you had the reverse retros with the gear returning. Now what do you got?
All right, well, I know the Oilers jersey lineup for next season, and
here we go.
I teased it, I think, in the offseason about them going back to Royal Blue. Confirmed, the Oilers are going back to the Royal Blues next season. Just the standard classic look, both for the home and the away. They're going to have the reverse retro reboot of the Todd McFarlane jersey, and Dusty, they will be keeping the Navy alternates as well. So 4 jerseys for the Oilers next year, and they're going back to the Royal Blue. The pylon orange is out, and the current configuration with the darker blue, brighter orange on the away jersey will be out next year. Classic Royal Blue coming back next year.
Okay, so for everybody, if you're just hopping in, I just tweeted it out. We're getting some Jersey news. Royal Blues back next year for home games.
Yes.
The whites on the road. The dark navy blues will still be an alternate.
Yes.
They wear those quite often, right? And then and then the reverse retro coming back. It's the McFarlane jersey, but with a different spin color-wise, essentially.
Exactly. It'll have a rebooted kind of tweaked look, if you will. They're just going to touch it up a little bit and make some changes to it.
Same base colors, do you think, on that thing? Or will it be like I know some people have been like Condor's colors, or what are they going to do with it, do you think?
I'm pretty sure it's going to be navy again.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I didn't get confirmation if there's going to be orange in it, but I'm almost 100% sure it's not going to be exactly the same as the original McFarlane jersey. So yeah, it's like rethought out, basically.
What do you think of the return to the Royal Blues, Tommy?
It's the right move. These uniforms that they've been wearing for the last 4 or 5 years have been bad. They're ugly. The away jersey, I mean, it's fine. Like it's so hard to mess up blue with the orange surrounding the blue on the yoke and the white jersey. So that won't look too much different, but the orange that they've had the last 4 or 5 seasons since 17-18 has been just ugly. I don't like the navy jersey. I still think it's too simple.
I was just going to say, I mean, I'd like to see that one be gone too. I don't technically love the navy one. Somebody in the comment section, with that being said, when they saw the Royal Blue, that heart button was just being pounded on the stream. So that's nice. But BT Keat Grain, dark navy alternate is the worst jersey in NHL history. I don't know if I'd take it that far, but I'd be totally fine with just Royal Blue, the whites, and then whatever this McFarlane reverse retro is going to look like. I think that'd be a nice set, but I mean, you want to try to sell as many as you can. My daughter has a navy alternate Kassian, and I don't know. I don't like the look of it too much.
They could have done more with it, and they chose not to. They have new marketing people now. They're not hindered by the prior regime, which brought in and introduced the jerseys that they're wearing now. So fresh minds and sharper minds working on it. So they've realized their ways were wrong in going away from the Royal Blues, and they're bringing them back. So there you go.
All right, let's slide along. Go ahead. Yeah.
Shout out to Marshall for wearing the reverse retro from last year.
He likes that reverse retro. So does Daddy. I didn't mind those ones. I was kind of sad when they took those away. So he's got probably 6 different Oilers jerseys, and he decided that was the one. He's got Hyman, he's got Nurse, he's got a bunch of different McDavids. The kids have a Puljujarvi one. The daddy would like to see them wear on a more regular basis, but hasn't got as much use as I would have preferred so far. But and I can't squeeze myself into that one, Tommy. But I'm still waiting for a. I don't have like an Oilers jersey. I don't have many jerseys. I'm not a big jersey guy, but maybe I'll do a photo shoot at one point for the Oil Stream and nothing but a Puljujarvi jersey. How's that sound? Get the tongue out there
lovely.
Too. Like,
you want to get people's attention?
Yeah, boy. That'll do it.
Rowdy,
holy shit, we got to download this podcast. What is going on here? All right, Tommy, practice report. You popped down there today. What was going on? What did we learn today?
All right, so Josh Archibald looks like he's ready to go. He was on the line with Malone and Kassian on the left side. All indicators point to him playing tomorrow. I don't see that changing. And, Jay Woodcroft wouldn't confirm it, but he kind of was like, hey, he's probably a possibility tomorrow. Tyson Barrie looks like he's good to go. He was doing some power play work. He was paired up with Broberg, I believe, today, if I recall correctly. And so that's a good sign there. He was on the second power play unit. Bouchard was on the point on the first power play unit when they were working on it again today. Both units getting some work. And then on top of that, Chris Russell was skating. He did skate Tuesday, but good to see him with the full group again today. Mike Smith also practicing. Stuart Skinner was the third goalie, though. He was the one getting, the crumbs when it came to crease time.
So he was leftover net guy, essentially? Like,
kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Skinner is what you're saying.
Skinner was, yes.
Yeah. All right, so Mike Smith at some point next week during the homestand. Koskinen will go against Tampa. I mean, last time they played Tampa, I thought that was their best game of the road trip. Well, Philly, they were tight versus Philly, but the big three there, even though they beat Florida, I thought Tampa was their best game of that road trip. Mike Smith obviously let them down in that one. Tommy, can Koskinen get the job done? Tampa's lost 2 in a row and has given up a bunch of goals over those 2 games. Very un-Vasilevsky-like. So you probably got an ornery Tampa Bay Lightning team coming in here. How do you think Koskinen holds up?
I have my doubts, but I think he's the right choice at this point. If they threw Skinner in there, I wouldn't mind that. But, there's some kind of reluctance, it seems, when it comes to Stuart Skinner. I think, Mikko Koskinen is the right choice there. And Jack Michaels and I were talking today, and as Louis and I were going over the Tampa game from a couple of weeks ago, where Louis was adamant that the guys in front of the net needed to do a better job in front of Mike Smith. And it was Louis was fired up. It was a good heated conversation. Anyway, Jack thinks that Brian Elliott starts for Lightning tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah.
Just a hunch, or does he know what's up? Or I mean, Vasilevsky hasn't been great lately, but he's one of the best goalies in the league. Yeah,
his theory was that Vasilevsky's been working a lot and might need a bit of a breather, and maybe they go with Elliott. We'll see tomorrow at the morning skate. The Lightning had their gear in the visiting room, but they weren't skating today, so we'll see tomorrow.
So if it's Elliott versus Koskinen, maybe hammer the over on a Saturday night bet. That might be something that I would look at doing. Hey, Archibald, Malone, Kassian. We saw Malone and Kassian in that game against Washington. I mean, they look like they fed off each other a little bit. Obviously, Malone has shown some physical abilities. Kassian first came back in the lineup, came out, a couple big hits really to get that game going. Archibald is a guy that I think in the past, and I don't know what to expect now, I don't think anybody does, but in the past, he's been a guy that can kind of get his teammates into games with the way that he plays. What type of expectations would you have for a Malone, Kassian, Archibald line?
That line, I would expect them to bring energy. They're going to be asked to be physical, and it's nice to see Kassian throwing his body around even when he's wearing a full visor. So that's good. And the fact that they got some offense last game, also great. I think Archibald, especially after not having played for so long, will probably need to start out by keeping it simple, being physical, short shifts, all that stuff. No training camp for him. Apparently he's in great shape, but we all know that being in great shape and working out, trying to stay game ready is different than actually getting into games and being game ready. So we'll see where he's at. Keep it simple, bring some energy, bring the physicality. And then on top of that, he's probably going to get some PK time. And the woes of this PK are astronomical this season. So maybe he helps it out a little bit. I'm not sure what the impact's going to be like early on, though.
What do you think of the way the top six is put together right now with Yamamoto, with Connor McDavid, Hyman, who had on the show this morning, and he talked about how he hasn't really played with Draisaitl much so far this year. So, because I asked him, I said, what's the difference between playing with McDavid and Draisaitl? I said, well, I'm just kind of starting to play with Draisaitl, so I have to tell you in a couple of weeks. But what do you think of the way that Woodcroft's got that top six right now?
I don't mind it. I mean, to me, like, I look at them and they're all interchangeable. I think Hyman has a good rapport with McDavid. He just seems to have an ability to read off of Connor McDavid a little bit more than some of the other wingers. With Yamamoto, he's sometimes he's going offensively. We know he does the right things, but I don't know. I think you need more offense out of him. Good to see him score the other night on the power play. If it doesn't work, if they're behind in the game, we've already seen Jay Woodcroft start to go to Draisaitl McDavid anyway. He threw Kane out there a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll see. Just kind of a wait and see approach. They're going to have to be sharp tomorrow, and they're going to need to try to generate offense from at least two, maybe even the third line with Fogle and Shore and Ryan. But that's a big ask for those guys.
Yeah, they got to get Puljujarvi and Nugent Hopkins back. You mentioned Chris Russell skated today. No sign of those other two guys with the main group just yet?
No Jesse, no Nugent Hopkins, no.
All right, let's get to your Ken Morrison Remax question of the day, brought to you by Ken Morrison. You can find his website at kenrmorrison.com. If you're buying or selling in the Edmonton and surrounding area, he's your guy, okay? 780-993-4815. He's been a realtor for 20 years. He's a Remax Hall of Famer. This is your guy. We're putting you in good hands here with Ken Morrison. Tommy, what is the Ken Morrison Remax question of the day?
Yes. The Ken Morrison Remax question of the day is this: Dusty Marcus Niemelainen gets a 2-year deal, and 2-way next year, 1-way a couple of years from now. Where do you foresee him fitting in when it comes to this Oilers blue line, and how do you see this Oilers blue line come the start of next season and maybe the end of next season? Because I know you kind of hinted about that earlier today on your Twitter account.
I don't know what it was, but it was awesome. I loved it. It's interesting because the blue line that you see right now is the blue line that they have next year unless they want to make changes, right? Like Keith has another year. Nurse ain't going anywhere. His contract's just kicking in. Cody Ceci, it's got 3 years left. Tyson Barrie's got 2 years left. I thought it was a good point. I was listening on the way home today to Low Tide, who, by the way, with The Athletic, wrote a nice article on Puljujarvi. If you haven't gone and checked that out yet, go check it out. He lays it out nicely. Dude's important. Anyway, he thinks Niemelainen did a pretty smart thing here by just taking $750, because this is a team that's going to be hard up against the cap again next year. And if you're a serviceable defenseman that's making less than $1 million, that helps your chances to make the team next year. Really, I think it does. They're going to need a couple forwards at $750, and they're going to need a defenseman at $750. So I think there's a chance that Niemelainen could be a third pair guy for you next year. The thing doesn't really open, I guess. Depending on what happens with Keith, 2 years from now, you could be looking at Nurse, Broberg, Niemelainen on your left side. 3 years from now, I mean, Ceci will be in the final year of his contract. You have Bouchard, but Barrie will be gone. So does Broberg slide over to the right? Does Samorukov become a player in the National Hockey League? Do you have to go out and add a defenseman in free agency or via trade? But, I think Nurse, Bouchard, Broberg, Ceci just because of his contract, and Niemelainen because I think he's got a lot of stay-at-home upside, if you want to describe stay-at-home upside as stay-at-home upside. I think that's kind of like the five that you can expect to be around for the next little while.
Yeah, we're kind of seeing the start of a changing of the guard on the blue line, aren't we? With him, and the other thing too is like, keep in mind, he's only played 20 NHL games.
Exactly.
So I don't think he had a lot of leverage, but there's been some really good moments. The physical side is excellent. Jay Woodcroft talked about it today, him having to go back down to Bakersfield, work on some things, but he knows what he needs to work on. Probably the puck stuff, as Dave Tippett liked to say about Marcus Niemelainen, but you don't have Chris Russell next year. If Niemelainen can be your 7, we'll see what happens. I bet there's a appetite and a market for Barrie if they want to try to find a better defenseman in his own zone and more responsible. If they want to get a different look there, I think there would
be a market there. I think for a team that has too many right shot defensive defensemen and needs an offensive defenseman, and maybe similar price or maybe a little bit less than Barrie. Yep. I think there'd be some sort of, you'd have to look. I haven't looked. I mean, we could dive into that in the offseason when we get there, Tommy, but I agree. I think there could be a switch there.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, it just depends on if they want to keep him around or they're satisfied with what he brings to the table. I know this year's been not as good as last year, but he's had some good moments. He's had some bad moments. Absolutely. Just depends how they want to give that look at the blue line, but it does feel like a natural changing of the guard is starting to occur, which is just fine.
There you go. That's your Ken Morrison Remax question of the day. A look at the blue line in the future. As for the immediate future, Tommy, Tampa Bay Lightning in town tomorrow night. Game 2 of a 5-game homestand. What time did you get going with pregame action on TSN 1260?
Yeah, 8 o'clock start, which is nice. Back to normal, kind of. And so we'll be on the air at 6:30 p.m. Connor Halley will line up a guest who covers the Lightning. I'm not sure who it will be just yet. We haven't thought that far in advance, but Matty Kassian bringing the good stuff with Game Changers, and then the Latino Heat slides in for Connor on the post game, and we should be good to go.
Man, I dropped a joke Hernan yesterday during Hot Takes. We were talking because somebody had texted in during the segments like, got to trade McDavid and Draisaitl, blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, my goodness. I said, why in the world would you trade the best player in the world? And also, why would you trade McDavid? And Eric and Kent Morrison start laughing, and I'm kind of chuckling. And Hernan's sitting there like with this smile. And then he's like, oh, all three of us. Oh, buddy, we'll never forget it. Hernan just like coming to like reality with the joke. It was, what a beauty.
Yes.
I absolutely love that guy.
You can tell the wheels are turning
good.
Sometimes. Yeah. He's like, okay, I got it. God bless him. I love that guy.
Yeah, too good. It's awesome. All right, buddy. Well, have a good pregame. Postgame could be interesting depending on how things actually sort themselves out. I think I said this on, I do that hit with the Bear guys every morning. Do you do the Bear hit when you're in for me? Do you? Yes, I don't.
Yeah.
So I said after that win over Washington that if they beat Tampa, I think they run the table on the homestand. I think they can. I think they can. If they beat Tampa, I think you can carry that momentum from that win because the rest of the homestand is not a bunch of world beaters, right? Like I think you might be able to run the table and sweep this 5-gamer.
You need to win against Detroit. You need to win against Buffalo. You need to win against New Jersey next Saturday. So they pissed away some points in Chicago and Montreal. That I know Montreal's played better, but you can't do that anymore. You just need to win these games coming up. Tampa's going to be, who knows, they're going to play them really tough, but after that, you need to win those games. Simple as that.
There you go. He's Tom Gazzola. I'm Dustin Nielsen. That's another episode of The Oil Stream brought to you by Popeyes, Louisiana Kitchen. Thank you very much for watching. If you've been watching and you've not yet subscribed to the podcast, just search The Oil Stream on the Spotifys and the Apple Podcasts and give us a sub over there as well. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy that late game on Saturday night. We'll break it all down next week right here on The Oil Stream. Talk to you then, Tommy.
Have a good weekend, Dusty.